Jack Thunder and the Dawn of Unity. Prologue. Adventures in Alterus. It was a perfect day on Holly Street. The summer sun streaked through the window, casting thin streams of light on the otherwise dim floor of Stephanie Granger's room. Outside, the birds were chirping, joining the crickets in their afternoon song. Stephanie ignored them. She had no time for that. Her mind was focused on something else. Her hands dashed across the keyboard as the image on her computer screen shifted and jolted. This was it. She had made it all the way through the depths of despair. The final dungeon she had to conquer to get the legendary Sword of the Seas. She knew the Pale Siren would be a tough battle, but she wasn't expecting the end boss to have such speed and agility. The Pale Siren disappeared. Stephanie grunted. How many times was this monster going to do this? Just a few more hits. Just a few more, then the Pale Siren would fall. That's all she needed. She leaned in close to her screen. This was it. The Pale Siren's HP was down to 1%. Just when she was about to dish out the final hit that would fell the end boss, granting her the sword she'd spent so many hours tracking down, fighting through mobs of evil mermaids, traversing every single one of the 100 levels of this dungeon, the screen went black. What? Stephanie nearly leapt out of her chair. She screamed a number of curses at her computer, only barely holding back the urge to punch in the screen. She pounded on the power button. No matter how many times she did, it wouldn't restart. This was the worst thing imaginable. Not only was all her hard work for nothing, but now her computer was possibly broken. She sat back down and sighed, planting her face in her hands. There had to be some way to fix this. Maybe the computer just got overheated? It was acting a bit laggy earlier. That had to be it. The computer was too hot. She just had to wait a few minutes. Then she could turn it back on. Stephanie sighed once more. And fight through that whole dungeon all over again. Just as she completed that thought, Stephanie heard the whir of the computer fan. She turned back towards her screen to find the logo of a papaya against a black background. She sighed in relief. The computer was restarting. She waited patiently for it to reboot. Instead of taking her to the home screen, however, it met Stephanie with a new sight. It was the start screen to a video game she'd never seen before. In the center of the screen was a sigil bearing a 6-pointed star, each point facing a different emblem. A swirly cloud, 3 water droplets, an overturned crescent moon, a tree with 5 branches, a raging flame, and a sun with 6 rays. 2 fantastical beasts flanked the sigil. A white unicorn with a shaggy mane, and a black dragon with 1 broken horn. Above it were the words, Adventures in Alterus. Stephanie froze. What was this? A new video game? Who had been using this computer before her? Still, she wasn't one to ask too many questions, especially when it came to video games. A new game was a new game, even if it popped up mysteriously on her computer one day. She pressed enter. Welcome, young traveler. I see you have arrived at our wonderful world. Beyond this misty curtain, and past the sky-high mountaintops, a new day in Alterus is beginning. The camera panned beyond the mountaintops to reveal a blissful valley, filled with forests and rivers. The art style reminded Stephanie of some stained glass windows she'd seen in her history textbook in class. She hadn't paid much mind to them. School was boring. But she'd definitely pay attention if it were presented like this. All sorts of scenes played out in front of her. It began with the heart of Alterus, who had shaped this world from its 6 tentacles. It had split the primal force, anima, into 6 different elements: air, water, earth, fire, darkness, and light. The cutscene continued. It explained the history of Alterus. It told of the royal beasts, the unicorn and the dragon. Through their marriage, they populated the world with the fearsome magical beasts, who in turn created the marvelous fairies. For centuries, the world lived in peace. All of a sudden, things took a dark turn. The heart of Altars had become lazy and greedy. It began to favor those whose sacrifices it held most dear. This drew the attention of the Wendigos, shadow demons whose only happiness is to drain all anima from the universe. Seeing an opportunity, they approached the heart of Alterus, promising it endless praise and worship if it were to accept their foul magic into its body. The heart of Alterus took the bait. Its form twisted and blackened, transforming it into a beast with only an endless hunger for what it had lost. The heart of darkness. But with the help of 6 powerful artifacts, called the Fragments of Anima, a band of brave heroes saved Alterus from destruction. They beat back the heart, sealing it in the flip side, the desolate realm where the Wendigos dwelled. But their victory had not come without cost. After the battle, the fragments were lost, blown out of the heroes' hands in an explosion that rocked the world. So it was that the fragments of Anima were scattered across Alterus, waiting to be rediscovered. But it wasn't long before the heart was set to return. Stephanie gasped. The Heart of Darkness had come back? After only 10 years? She kept watching. This time, though, we were lucky. One young storm gremlin, Jack Thunder by name, recovered the fragment of air from inside Mount Tempest. One by one, he found each of the fragments of Anima, along with 5 new friends, each from different walks of life. When they confronted the Heart of Darkness, they purified and restored it to its former glory. Now, the Heart of Alterus sits on its rightful throne once more. Stephanie blinked. Alas, I sense a new change on the horizon, one that could usher in a new age of prosperity for all of Alterus. It's a heavy task, but I have faith in you. Will you help us? Just as the cutscene finished, the screen froze. Stephanie tapped her foot. Well, isn't this thing going to take me to the tutorial level or something? The picture on the screen gave way to a bright, unnatural white. Stephanie turned away, covering her face with her hands. What was going on? Had her computer gotten a virus? She tried to get up and walk away, but she could feel something drawing her back towards her computer. No, not just drawing her back. The computer was sucking her into the screen. Old papers flew across the room as the suction grew stronger. Stephanie held onto the edge of her desk for dear life. Eventually, her hand slipped. She fell backwards through the computer monitor, screaming all the way. Her computer shut down once more. All that was left was a black screen and a disheveled room full of undone homework and broken pencils.